Hello! Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about why grocery shopping sucks. So every time I go into the grocery store now, it kind of feels like psychological warfare. I go in, I have my list, I'm buying eggs, milk, chicken, tofu, and then I walk out and somehow the bill is like $75 and I don't know what decisions I made that led me to that point, but if you're anything like me and you want to live a more intentional life, something feels a little off, and so these are my tips to make grocery shopping a little less stressful. One thing for me personally that's made grocery shopping a little bit easier is just being a creature of habit. I think being a creature of habit allows me to be more aware of the pricing, and if there's a change that happened with some of the groceries that I typically buy, usually I can feel it whether I'm looking at the receipt or when I'm walking into the store or looking online at what is on sale or what I'm gonna be buying for this week to make lunches and dinners and stuff. And not only with price fluctuations, but I can feel the shrinkflation happening too. And while I don't have any solutions unless you want to open your own company and start making your own yogurt brand, and that is your solution to enshittification and shrinkflation, have at it. And I think for me personally, while I typically buy pretty much the same stuff every week, there are times where if I do feel like I'm getting ripped off, so like egg prices for a while were through the roof, I just would say that is not valuable to me, that is not something that I want to purchase, and I'm skipping it. I'm not doing it. You will not beat me, grocery store gods. I think having similar foods every week, I kind of know what I'm buying, I know what I'm cooking, it sort of simplifies everything for me, but I think I'm also able to sort of navigate the grocery store a little bit more easily, so I sort of walk in, I pick up my basket, or I just have my grocery bag, and I sort of make a beeline for what I need. And I'm walking past all of the other things that might tempt me to buy, whether it be junk food, whether it be sales, whether it be stuff that the grocery store is trying to unload. One of the things that make grocery shopping for me so tiring is just decision fatigue. I think it's a particular type of evil when I walk in to buy ketchup and I'm standing in front of the ketchup aisle and there's 12 different kinds of ketchup there. I mean, I'm happy with just one, but I mean, sometimes it feels exhausting after a long day at work to, go to the store to buy food that you need to eat, and it just feels like the decisions are endless. So I think this was sort of maybe built into point one, but I just want to make sure that it's explicit, but deciding what I want to eat before I go to the grocery store. I think it's really easy to walk into whatever grocery store is near you and be enamored with the sales, with the colorful vegetables, with the produce and the snacks and everything, and just sort of get tempted, and you're sort of envisioning what you're gonna have that week while you're shopping for everything. I feel like for me that leads me to spending more money, and so I think having a list, checking it twice, and then making sure that I'm sticking to it whenever I'm in the store helps me save money and just make everything just a little bit more easy on me. And my other biggest tip before going to the grocery store, look in your pantry, know what you have at home. If you have a ton of chicken breasts that you haven't cooked for that week yet, don't buy more chicken breasts. I think taking stock of what you have before going into the store, if you're buying for a specific recipe that you want to make, it's going to be a little bit easier for you to know, okay, I have onions at home, but I need to pick up garlic. I have olive oil at home, but I want to pick up vinegar. And so I am certainly guilty of this where, I'm having people over, I want to go get a couple snacks, I buy raspberry jelly at the store for our little charcuterie board, and then I come home and greeting me in the refrigerator is a brand new jar of raspberry jelly. So now I have two, and I feel like that's kind of wasteful. The other thing that I try to do along the lines of picking between the 12 bottles of ketchup that you might see in the grocery store is planning to address the decision fatigue before I go in the store. So I might spend a little bit of time on the internet browsing what is on sale. I feel like a lot of grocery stores have apps now that you can download, or Flip is a great website where you can sort of see what's on sale. There is no need for me to spend more than a few minutes looking at the products in the aisle. And I think one of the things that I prefer almost is shopping at smaller grocery stores. I think it's exhausting to have to make so many decisions during the day, and then you go and you're just trying to buy stuff for you and whoever else you're grocery shopping for, and do I want the soup that's low sodium? Do I want regular? Do I want low fat? Do I want this, that? All of these variations exist, and ultimately it just feels like I don't know who is marketing these, but it just sort of feels like a little deceptive in some ways. If you're on a budget, you might just opt for the most cost-effective option, or if you're looking to meet certain nutrition goals, you might prioritize those, but I feel like it's important either way to have a plan for this so you don't spend an hour looking at like peanut butter. It's not that serious. If you're super busy, you can do curbside pickup. Sometimes they will jack up prices for this, so please just, be aware of what's happening. What I have done is whenever I will go to the store, I'll look at the store's pricing in person and then compare that to if there's like Instacart or curbside pickup to see what the differences are. Sometimes it's not a whole lot of a difference. Sometimes it is. And so if you are going to use any kind of like pickup or delivery, please just be aware that you may end up paying more money for that. And finally, I feel like the biggest thing that has changed the way that I shop is finding a grocery store that you don't totally hate. And I know this might be impossible, and if you live in a food desert, my heart goes out to you. If you mostly commute by walking and the closest grocery store to you is the only one in the area, you're kind of locked in. My heart goes out to you for that. But I know this whole video is about like why grocery shopping sucks, but I feel like in some ways it might be beneficial to just try to find the least worst option near you and stick with that for a little bit. And I know for some of us, given how much we're working or other responsibilities that we have, we might only be able to grocery shop on Sunday afternoons or other peak hours with long wait lines, picked over bins, and understandably stressed workers. And it might take some trial and error visiting different stores in your neighborhood, but there are a handful I've mostly stopped visiting because the experience is just simply too overwhelming for me. And I've gotten to the point where as much as some grocery stores I like the products that they sell, I can't do it. As much as I can this year, I'm trying to, as they say, protect my peace, but it's still hard and I'm still working on it too. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and follow along for more content about trying to be a little bit better and intentional about how we live our lives, and I'll see you next time. Take care.